What is up, Snooze Babes? How are all you beautiful people doing today? Series 7 has just hit on the ranked ladder in game, so I thought I would look at a Pokemon that is personally one of my favorites since I ever picked it in Gen 3, Swampert. For those of you that don't know, Swampert is my favorite Pokemon. I picked Mudkip very first in Generation 3, and before that, it used to be Typhlosion, but I fell in love with Mudkip, and I used Swampert all the way through 2018. So I used him in a California midseason and I used it at a California regional, and then I got top 16 with it at the 2018 Utah regional as well as the mega form on a rain team. And so when I saw that Swampert was coming into the metagame with Dynamax, I really wanted to see if there was a way to make it work. And I had been hearing through the grapevine that Swampert was actually performing fairly well on certain teams, and it actually topped the ladder very early. That doesn't say a whole lot with how early the metagame is, but I wanted to check it out. And so that's why I'm doing this Is It Good about Swampert. If you want to know my overall ranking of it, just right up front, I think it's probably 6 out of 10 is what I would say. If you want to know why I think that, stick around as I'll go through my thoughts of why I think Swampert is an above average pick right now in the metagame. So as you can see, Swampert is actually pretty versatile in this metagame right now. It can be used as an attacker or a defensive pivot, and with the things like Regieleki, Tapu Koko, Tapu Fini, and Landorus, and the flying types running around so rapidly right now, Swampert is actually a really solid pick that you can use to fit on your team to be a really good check to those Pokemon. It's kind of an anti-meta pick right now, more than like an on-brand, mainstream pick. So some of the natures that I think are best suited for Swampert are going to be the adamant nature if you're wanting to be a little bit more physical with your attacks, do a little bit more damage, maybe use it as a Dynamax Pokemon. A brave nature because its speed is only about 60, so it can work in Trick Room fairly well. A bold nature if you want to take a lot of physical hits and use it as like a pivot for your teams. If you need something to switch in on a hard physical hit, Swampert's your guy. Same with special, Swampert can also do that as well. Torrent and Damp are its abilities. Honestly, its hidden ability is such a disappointment. Damp is just not good at all. Nobody uses Explosion or anything like that. So you're probably going to want to be picking Torrent because once Swampert gets down to low HP, its water attacks are going to be doing more damage. Unfortunately, it lost its Mega, so Swift Swim, rest in peace Mega Swampert, is not available. So Torrent is going to be your go-to 99.99% of the time. It can also use a couple items effectively. It has a Life Orb, like I said, that will go on those physical attacking sets when you really want to do good damage with Swampert. Assault Vest if you want to soak up some more special hits. Focus Sash if you want to just go straight like attack offense, with speed and attack investment. Or a Citrus / Pinch Berry if you want to have a little bit more HP, a little bit more recovery. The Citrus Berry is my personal favorite, the Pinch Berries kind of got nerfed, and I think the Citrus just fits really well on Swampert. It has a base stat total of 535, which is actually pretty good, especially for a starter. An HP, base 100, base 110 attack, base 90 defense, base 85 special attack, base 90 special defense, and base 60 speed. Swampert is actually a very bulky monster, so with 100 HP and 90 in both of its defenses, it actually takes a lot of good hits. It can just keep on rolling with them. And with the 110 base attack, which I honestly think anything that's 100 or above is pretty good. I think 110 will get you a lot of good damage. I don't think you'll be able to pick up one-hit KOs on anything that's Dynamaxed. So like if you try to like max Hailstorm with Ice Punch into like a Dynamaxed Boltrus, like you're not going to pick that up, but like you might if it's not Dynamaxed, obviously. Some of the best moves I think to run on Swampert, and this is personal preference, is Waterfall, high horsepower for that ground stab. You could run Earthquake, but I just like using high horsepower because finding things to synergize with Earthquake is kind of hard sometimes. Ice Punch for all those flying types that are running around, and then you could either do Protect if you want to have Protect, or if you're doing like an Assault Vest, you can run Flip Turn for some board control. I think Flip Turn's actually a cool move that Swampert could use. to rotate in and out, as with that slow kind of Incineroar-esque with like the parting shot and U-turn. You can like put it in and flip turn it out and kind of get that positioning, and it can be very useful in some situations. The EV spread that I have on the bottom here is a personal spread that I've been using. I think it could be optimized more, but it's been very good for my needs. It's 236 HP, 156 attack, 108 defense, 4 special defense, 4 speed, with an adamant nature on my personal set. The 4 special defense and the 4 speed, they're not really there for anything, but I never did any calculations where if I put those into the defense that they made any difference in any damage calculations that I did. It didn't make any 2-hit KOs, 3-hit KOs. It's just, I think they were just kind of some bum EVs, and so I just threw them into special defense and speed just because. So I think it could be optimized a little bit better, but it's worked out fine for me. Swampert being a water ground type, which I think is like one of the best typing combinations in my personal opinion, is only weak to grass and has a huge amount of resistances. So you just got to watch out for those grass types, like in the competition section. You got to watch out for Rillabooms. You got to watch out for Kartanas, your rogue energy balls on Whimsicott, things like that. And then I actually put Glacier on there because Glacier, with how massive its attack is and how big its defenses are, Swampert can't really punch through it. I found myself really losing those matches like 1v1 against Glacier. It would just out damage me 100% of the time, and Swampert just struggles way too much versus Glacier. So if you're trying to use it as a way to check like Trick Room with because that's what I tried for a little bit, was trying to use it as like a Trick Room check for the Glacier, because I thought, oh, it's really bulky, Swampert can like Dynamax and try to take it. Glacier will out damage you, and it has the defenses to take whatever you throw at it. So I think, but like only having 3 Pokemon in the metagame right now that I felt really threatened Swampert is actually pretty insane, and it says a lot about the usability of Swampert. So overall, guys, like I said at the beginning of the video, I would give Swampert a solid 6 out of 10 in a rating, or maybe like a C or B on a grade scale for Swampert. I definitely don't think it's an A tier mon or an S tier mon by like any means, but it has performed really well for me. I threw it on a team that I made, and I did 50 or so battles with it, and I have about a 71 per win percentage, and I'm just sitting in the mid 1400s right now, and that only took me about a couple hours to get that. And so I think he really performs well, and I never really found myself regretting bringing Swampert when I did bring him to a game that didn't have a whole lot of threats. I think a lot of people aren't prepared for the water ground type, including like Seismitoad or Gastrodon. Swampert, I just think that it really does well as kind of an anti-meta pick right now. And if you're looking for something to help with, Regieleki, Landorus, the flying types, Metagross, Swampert does a really good job at just like taking those guys head on and just like not even struggling with them. I don't think I've had any hard time with any sort of Landorus or Metagross with Swampert. It's just been a great mon for me, and if you can figure out how to use it and put it with the right partners, it's actually a really great pick for your team. So that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you liked this video of Is It Good? Let me know if there's something you'd like me to do on the channel, and whether another Is It Good or another guide of some sort. I'm always open to suggestions. And the question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite Pokemon to use in Series 7 so far? We're very early in the metagame, but a lot of people are finding their favorites. Personally, my favorite is Regieleki. I think it's just one of my favorite Pokemon to ever use right now, and I can't wait to see how the metagame develops.